She's back, and I'm honoured that Dr. Sandra Haymon, a world leader when it comes to the elderly and caregiving expertise, is joining me. Especially in the United States right now, Sandra, there are horror stories emerging across the states about families who have found themselves in situations you would not wish upon your worst enemy. We are not legal experts, but you have information to share in your expertise, and I would love you to do that right now to the people viewing.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you for interviewing me again. It's wonderful to be with you. Yes, I am not an attorney. I'm not offering legal advice. I'm a psychologist, but I have worked with hundreds of families, both the elderly and their sons and daughters that are taking care of them. And I have heard also horror stories. And I'll give you just a couple. One of the things in this country is oftentimes elderly people are advised to go ahead and deed their homes over to one of their adult children. And sometimes they do that to maybe avoid inheritance tax later, or maybe to qualify for some government programs. So anyhow, sometimes they're advised to put their home maybe in their son's name, because they say, well, you know what, when you die, your son's going to inherit it anyway, so go ahead and put it over in his name. And so one family that I was working with, the elderly couple did exactly that. They had a beautiful home that was worth, close to $1 million, and that was what they were going to retire on, and they needed that. So they moved that over into their son's name, and everything went fine for about 3 years, and then the son and his wife divorced. And unfortunately, the daughter-in-law walked away with half of the assets, which included half of their home. So that was gone, and they were just devastated, and then there was another case that I worked with, and again, the elderly couple had been given some advice, some legal advice about transferring their home into their grandson's name, and not even telling him, because they were advised, well, you're going to transfer, it's your dad that's going to transfer to him anyhow, he's going to inherit it, so just go ahead and put it in his name. And so a few years later, the grandson had an automobile accident, and several people were severely injured, and he did not have enough insurance to cover their medical bills, and so he was sued. When the attorneys checked to see what this young man had in his name, guess what? They found the house that the grandparents had transferred over to his name, and they took it.
Wow.
They took it. And so here was an elderly couple who was just devastated. Now they were being kicked out of their home. They had no money, because all their money was tied up in their home, and they had equity in that, and they were counting on selling that home and using it to live out their last years, and now it was absolutely gone. So that's just a couple of real life examples that I just want to make caregivers aware of. And before you go transferring assets, just be sure that that you're legally protected. So, because our country is a very litigious country, and you just don't want to be sued or be in a position so that someone who's worked all their life, they have their home, maybe they have their home paid for, and then zap, one lawsuit takes it away from them. And so that's my message today to caregivers and to people who are thinking about transferring assets. And again, I'm not an attorney. That's just from my personal experience.
And I truly appreciate that, Sandra. It's not just America that's litigious. I'm joining you today from Europe, and this is a truly international interview today. And it's all around the world. You need to be exceptionally careful. We are not legal experts. We are not advising you to do anything. What we are encouraging you to do is get the best possible, proper legal advice that you can get, so you can make an informed decision for you, your family, and your loved ones. And Sandra, again, you've excelled. I'm so thrilled to join you, and the level of expertise and the information you share every time I talk to you is quite astounding. And it's no wonder you're the #1 in America in your field, and love what you share around the world. And thank you for joining me again.
so much, Marie.
3, 2, 1.